Hey, greetings everybody. It is GleeCon back again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we ran around the Silverpine Forest with our Forsaken Undead Warlock and did some quests that really helped us start to touch base on what is the Curse of Aragol and why are there so many werewolves in the area. We also have been reading the Horde Player's Guide, and we're continuing along that journey as we get closer and closer through this Dungeons and Dragons source book. We're going to finish up Chapter 6 today. Last time we read about the Cult of the Forgotten Shadow, which is sort of the sect of priests and necromancers and such that work for the Forsaken, or that are members of the Forsaken. So as we finish this last one, stay a while and listen, and we'll talk about the Grimtotem Tribe. I've actually been looking forward to this one. I'm curious. I don't know that much about the tribe. So this has a membership of 1,430. I want to say, just based on memory, that's about double of the priests of the Forgotten Shadow have. They are neutral evil, so they are not good, but they are members of the Horde. Their regions of influence, it says the Grimtotem Tribe operates mainly in the Stone Talon Mountains and Thousand Needles, although some also live in Thunder Bluff. Those are the ones that we have encountered so far. We have not been to Stone Talon or Thousand Needles yet. And activities. The Grimtotem Tribe fights to eliminate enemies of the tauren, though by Grimtotem standards, almost everyone is an enemy of the tauren. I've heard tales of the Grimtotems and asked about them at Thunder Bluff. I was expecting stories about a warrior clan that was a little overzealous but accepted by the rest of the tauren. Instead, I heard tales of unprovoked attacks, slaughter, and mayhem. The Grimtotem Tribe seems to have declared war on the world. An elderly tauren told me that while the Grimtotem name is generations old, the clan as an organization has existed only for a few years. Magatha Grimtotem and her tribe felt that Cairn Bloodhoof's friendship with the orcs was a bad idea. The tribe felt that Kalimdor belonged to the tauren, and no other race held claim to it. In recent years, the Grimtotems have conducted raid after raid on goblin, centaur, and orc settlements. Some dark tales even hint that the Grimtotems kill tauren who live in non-tauren settlements, considering them traitors. So this is the xenophobic, expansionistic type of tauren, which is odd. It seems almost oxymoronic and counterintuitive to anything that you might think that a tauren is. No one seems to know why the Grimtotems feel this way, though. Popular theory holds that a centaur warband slaughtered Magatha Grimtotem's family when she was just a kid. She grew up swearing to purge the land of all its vile influences. Later, they say her visions came and she developed into a powerful shaman. Some say Magatha claims the spirits told her of the devastation outsiders wrought on the land. Some say Magatha hears the Earth Mother weep in dreams. I don't know. I've seen the Elder Crone, and it's hard to believe she ever cared enough about anyone else to join a cause. I'm more inclined to believe the tales that say Magatha's father was an old spirit walker who listened to his ancestors' cries so long they drove him mad. Supposedly, he decided too many of his people had died at the hands of outsiders and that all intruders had to die. Then he passed on his madness and his zeal to his daughter, who seems happy to follow in his example. The tauren seem almost embarrassed by the Grimtotem's actions, but more than that, they're upset with their kin. The Grimtotems reject the peaceful spiritual teachings of tauren shaman and cause pain to the Earth Mother. Not to mention that relations between the Horde and the Alliance are strained as it is. All that would take would be for the Grimtotems to slaughter a pack of humans just to make all sorts of trouble. The tauren can't just walk in and wipe out the Grimtotems, though. They're not into wholesale slaughter, and not all the stories about the Grimtotems are true. I'm sure Cairn Bloodhoof lets Magatha Grimtotem stay in Thunder Bluff because he wants to keep her close. He's keeping an eye on her, trying to figure her out, trying to decide what to do next. Hopefully he'll figure it out soon, because it's certain that the Grimtotems are going to make trouble for the tauren in the long run. So it makes me think of the Dark Iron Dwarves. I think there's some parallels here with this sort of tribe, although they're not as big as the Dark Irons. That has a house, that has a seat in the main capital of their associated race, but other than that has a lot of different views and different dogma. Organization. Magatha Grimtotem resurrected the old honorific Elder Crone to use. The tauren I talked to swear it's a title of respect. Should a male ever replace her, he'd likely use the title Elder Sakem, apparently the male version, and a whole lot nicer sounding to me. The Grimtotem Tribe doesn't go for organized structure or a complicated hierarchy. They're just over 1,000 of them, split pretty evenly between Thunder Bluff and the 3 major settlements. The chief of each settlement reports directly to Magatha, and she uses her magic to keep in touch with them. Their information might influence her, but the Elder Crone makes all the decisions. Locations. 3 main settlements of Grimtotems exist: Camp Aparaje, or Aparaje, and Grimtotem Village in the Stone Talon Mountains, and Dark Cloud Pinnacle in Thousand Needles. Magatha Grimtotem, leader of the clan, makes her home on Elder Rise in Thunder Bluff. Several hundred Grimtotems live in Thunder Bluff as well, to be close to the Elder Crone, but their influence is limited. Magatha's the one with all the power and brains. Members. Tauren, disillusioned with Cairn Bloodhoof's message of peace and harmony, seek to join the Grimtotems. You'd think young rebels would make up a large part of the group, but it's mostly older Tauren who are used to peace and solitude and don't like the new interlopers. Warriors and hunters seem the most likely to join. Not many shaman favor the Grimtotem philosophy, though there are a few who just subscribe to Magatha's the spirits are angry philosophy. They're convinced that the land is sick and requires purging. Several Forsaken reputedly belong to the Grimtotem organization. These Forsaken are special consultants who aid the Grimtotems in brewing virulent toxins with which to fight the intruders on their land. Sounds rather like playing catch with a loaded pistol to me, but I suppose the Forsaken and the Grimtotems have a lot in common. They both seem to hate everybody. Allying with the Grimtotems isn't an easy thing. You can't just walk up and ask to join. The Grimtotems are rightly suspicious of spies. It's traditional to bring an offering. Up in the Stone Talon Mountains, the head of a goblin is customary. Proves that you're serious about aiding the Grimtotem cause. Usually the chief sends a tauren who wants to join on a series of incredibly dangerous raids against centaur or goblin encampments. If you survive and do a good job of killing, you're in, though the leaders watch you carefully for the first little bit. New members have to keep killing to stay in, too. I heard one story about a Grimtotem who lost his taste for carnage and his tribe mates killed him rather than let him leave. Another story told of a Grimtotem who balked at killing traitor tauren. His war party turned on him and tore him apart. Obviously, the Grimtotems allow only tauren to join. If a non-tauren tried to join, they'd probably laugh at him before they killed him. The only exception to the rule is, as previously stated, the Forsaken, and even then, their involvement is rare. I think it's so weird that the Forsaken of all the people are the ones that, other than the fact that they're evil. Alright, so we'll take a sidebar and talk about Grimtotem titles. Ordinary Grimtotem warriors have different titles depending on who you ask. Other Horde members like the Orcs use the term raiders or bandits. They don't necessarily understand the cause the Grimtotems fight for. To the Horde, the Grimtotems seem to be an undisciplined, bloodthirsty mob, which isn't too far from the truth. Individuals outside the Horde who have dealings with the Grimtotems use the term brute or mercenary to identify Grimtotem Tauren. Most of these individuals have never heard the name Grimtotem. They don't use clan names at all. Among themselves, Grimtotems call their fighters warriors or hunters without any extra distinction. Alright, let's discuss their leaders. There is Elder Crone Magatha Grimtotem, who is a level 10 shaman, female tauren. Magatha is the oldest living Grimtotem and the most powerful shaman of the tribe. I saw her in Thunder Bluff, an elderly tauren female with powerful shoulders and a white muzzle. From what I heard, she hasn't let age slow her down one bit, and she defends her position with every spark of magic at her command. Rumor has it she's forging ties with the Forsaken. She seems to think they're the type to understand an unwavering hatred against all other races. Some even whisper she's planning on killing Bloodhoof, though she's not nearly strong enough to do so now. See Lands of Mystery for Magatha's statistics. Arnak Grimtotem is a male tauren warrior gladiator. This outcast once served as the leader of Dark Cloud Pinnacle. Supposedly he's Magatha's nephew, but she disowned him when word of his indiscretions, aka kidnapping and murder, leaked out. Now he's a fugitive wanted by the tauren. Supposedly, I did some digging and heard a few conflicting tales. According to the rumor mill, the Grimtotems of Dark Cloud Pinnacle now know exactly where Arnak is and deliberately hide him. They consider him a great leader and hate the other tauren for hunting him. Rumor is torn on how Magatha feels about this. One camp says that she knows all about Arnak's murderous tendencies and encourages them. The other says that Magath is furious at Arnak's lack of discretion and wants him dead. And Grundig Darkcloud, the male, he is a tauren hunter, male, level 8. Grundig Darkcloud leads the tauren of Grimtotem Village. A ruthless hunter, he enjoys stalking and killing intelligent prey. I've heard that Darkcloud holds some bitter grudge against tauren, and he's the most likely to kill his own kind. I didn't see Darkcloud myself, but the area residents say he's a bulky fellow with jet black hide and dangerously sharp horns. And we'll finish this off with a small flavor text sidebar. I'm just saying, I don't like this place, Helda repeated. There's nothing to be afraid of, Karg scoffed. The Stone Tellers are the oldest mountains in the world. The spirits are strong here. They'll protect us. You and your spirits. When we get to Thunderbluff, you'll understand, Karg said. The tauren knows so much. They taught me so much. They'll show you how. I know, Helda said quickly. And I'm looking forward to it. Just don't tell me about it again. I don't think I could. Did you hear that? There's their orcs. The two orcs stopped and looked around. Spindly trees crowded close to them. A bird fluttered past. Then 5 tauren emerged from the trees ahead. They strode onto the path and faced the orcs. Scars crisscrossed their black muzzles, and the leader had heavy gray horns long enough to spit Karg clean through. Karg relaxed. Greetings, brothers, he said, shaping the Torahe words carefully. We travel to Thunderbluff to study with your people. The tauren drew their weapons and advanced. The leader growled. The Elder Crone welcomes you to the Stone Talons. Karg grabbed Helda's arm and stepped back. Brothers! Okay, so I would say, if nothing else, we didn't learn too much about the Grimtotem, but it does make me hungry and excited to play through some of the quest lines. I think we'll actually learn more doing the quests of these zones. Either way you cut it, we got another episode in the pipe 5x5. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Lore of Warcraft.